Good morning, students. From your Flamingo books, we are doing chapter Indigo. Indigo is the story of how Gandhi decided to urge the departure of the Britishers from our motherland. It is an account of British high handedness and oppression and the contributions made by the masses to the freedom movement. He began by trying to get the facts. First, he visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association. So Gandhi had gone to Muzaffarpur, and the idea was what? The idea was to get the details of the sharecropping issue, the grievances of the farmers, the injustice done to the farmers by the British landlords. So Gandhi started by getting the facts from the lawyers, from the farmers. First, he visited the secretary of British Landlord Association. Then he visited the secretary of the British landlords. So there was the association of these landlords. The secretary told him that they could give no information to an outsider. Now, this British landlord association secretary, he told to Gandhi that I cannot give you any information to the outsider. That is, for him, the Gandhi was an outsider. Gandhi answered that he was no outsider. So Gandhi corrected him that no, I'm not an outsider, it's my country, it is you, that is the Britishers, who are outsiders. Next, Gandhi called on the British official commissioner of the Tirhut division in which the Champaran district lay. So next, after that, he went to the British official commissioner of the Tirhut division, and the Champaran district came in this region, the Tirhut division. The Commissioner, Gandhi reports, proceeded to bully me and advised me forthwith to leave Tirhut. So the commissioner said what? He started bullying Gandhi. That is, he started frightening Gandhi. And in fact, he threatened Gandhi that you are to leave Tirhut division from thence onwards. From that minute onwards, you leave the Tirhut. Gandhi did not leave. Instead, he proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. Now, the idea of Gandhi was what? That before I go to Champaran and route whatever villages are coming, I had to get the maximum information from the various people, various farmers and the association, so as to fight for the injustice done to them. So he headed to Motihari, that is the capital of Champaran. Several lawyers accompanied him. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted Gandhi. So many of the lawyers joined Gandhi in his mission to fight for the sharecroppers. And when he went to Motihari, many people came at the railway station to welcome Gandhi. He went to a house and, using it as headquarters, continued his investigation. So in Motihari, he chose one of the house, and that house turned to be a headquarters. So all the investigations and things could be done at one place. A report came in that a pheasant had been maltreated in a nearby village. So Gandhi learned in Motihari that one of the farmers had been badly mistreated in a nearby village. Gandhi decided to go and see. The next morning, he started on the back of an elephant. So Gandhi decided that he should go to the nearby village and meet that farmer who had been badly treated by the Britishers or the landlords. And he started on the elephant. Why elephant? Because the means of conveyance were very poor at that period of time. He had not proceeded far when the police superintendent's messenger overtook him and ordered him to return to town in his carriage. Now, when he headed from Motihari to this village to check on the pheasant who was injured or maltreated by the Britishers, so he did not go much far when he was stopped by the police superintendent's messenger, and that messenger ordered Gandhi that you have to return back to town, that is, you have to return back to Motihari, and he in fact asked Gandhi to come in his carriage. Gandhi complied, Gandhi obeyed. The messenger drove Gandhi home, where he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. So, this messenger took Gandhi in his carriage and dropped him at the place, the house where he was, and he served him official notice that now, from this minute, he has to leave Champaran immediately. Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice and wrote on it that he would disobey the order. Now, Gandhi signed a receipt that yes, I have received the official notice, but then he wrote on that what that he is not going to obey the order to leave Champaran, to quit Champaran. In consequence, Gandhi received a summon to appear in the court next day. Now, this was an official notice, so Gandhi did not respect the law. So, official notice, the court had summoned Gandhi for the next day that he is to come to court. All night, Gandhi remained awake throughout the night. He did not sleep. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with influential friends. He telegraphed. Telegraph was a means of communication at that time. So he telegraphed Rajendra Prasad. Who is Rajendra Prasad? He is a lawyer. So he telegraphed him what that Gandhi needs. Rajendra Prasad needs to come from Bihar with strong people, influential people that have voice, that have their say. He sent instruction to the ashram, and during the night he also left telegraph to the ashram, that is Sevagram, that in his when the court arrest would be there, when he would be summoned to the court, what needs to be done at the ashram in his absence. He wired a full report to the viceroy, and he wired the report. Morning found the town of Motihari black with pheasants. So next morning, when he was summoned to the court, the town of Motihari was black. Black, why? Because a huge multitude of farmers have gathered in support of Gandhi. They did not know Gandhi's record in South Africa. So these farmers did not know Gandhi's record. What record in South Africa? That is, he fought for the oppressive treatment of the white towards native African and Indians. They had merely heard that a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble with the authorities. Now, these poor illiterate farmers knew what? That some Mahatma, some good soul, some great person is there who is going to fight in their mission against the injustice done to them under the landlord system. So, this person is in trouble with the authorities, that is, Britishers. Their spontaneous demonstrations in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from fear of British. So their continuous demonstration in a large number and around the courthouse was actually the beginning of what? The beginning of liberation from fear of Britishers. The officials felt powerless without Gandhi's cooperation. Now officials were not able to control this crowd, and they wanted Gandhi to help. He helped them regulate the crowd. He was polite and friendly. So Gandhi was polite and friendly to the peasants, and he helped the officials to control the crowd. He was giving them concrete proof that their might, he too dreaded and unquestioned, could be challenged by Indians. So he was giving them strong proof, solid proof. To whom? To the farmers, that their might, the strength of the Britishers, hitherto, that is until now, dreaded, they were feared. They were regarded with great fear. Who? The Britishers. And unquestioned, that is, nobody had the daring to question the Britishers for their rights, could be challenged by Indians. What does that mean? Gandhi told the farmers that from now onwards, the peasants gathering in large number tells them about their power, their strength, and their unity. From this time onwards, their continuous demonstration outside the courthouse depicts that now the Britishers who were unquestioned, the Britishers who were dreaded, could be challenged by the poor Indians. The government was baffled. Now the government was perplexed, confused what to do. The prosecutor requested the judge to postpone the trial. So the prosecutor asked the judge that the trial against Gandhi should be postponed. Apparently, the authorities wished to consult their superiors. Now, what excuse they give to postpone the trial? That they want to consult their superiors, that how this proceeding should be carried or what action to be taken against Gandhi. And moreover, the support was in huge numbers, so they thought that it's better to postpone the trial. Gandhi protested against the delay. Now Gandhi stood against. He opposed that no, there should not be any delay, no postponement of the case. He read a statement pleading guilty. He said he accepted that yes, he was guilty, that he did wrong. What wrong did Gandhi did? Gandhi, when he was served an official notice to leave Champaran, did not leave Champaran. He went against the law. So he said, yes, I'm guilty. He was involved, he told the court, in a conflict of duties. On the one hand, not to set a bad example as a lawbreaker. On the other hand, to render the humanitarian and national service for which he had come. So he told the court what? That he was confused. He was in a dilemma. What dilemma? In a conflict of duties. That first, I do not want it to be a lawbreaker. I don't want to set an example that I do not respect law. And the second he was considering was that he had come to Champaran for a big cause, for the humanitarian cause, for a national service. He had come to fight for the grievances of the farmers, for the injustice done to sharecroppers, indigo sharecroppers. He disregarded the order to leave not for want of respect for lawful authority. So he tells the court that I did not obey the orders to leave the Champaran, not because I do not have respect for law or I want to insult the law, but in obedience to the higher law of our being, the voice of conscience, he asked the penalty due. So he says, I did not obey the law because I have my duty towards humanity, and I have to be answerable to my own voice of conscience. That is, my voice of conscience is a higher law. I have to respect that, and that conscience is what? That he was there. It was his moral duty to help the indigo sharecroppers. He asked the penalty due. He said that yes, I'm guilty. So whatever penalties are there, you tell.